Dallas Willard once said, "You can't have a shower by getting one drop of water every 5 minutes for a whole year." Imagine that, right? In order to have a shower, you need a focused amount of water and in close proximity of time over you to experience that cleansing. And he was talking about the limitation of, most Christians just spending 1 hour on Sunday morning once a week for years and years, and that simply not being enough for our spiritual walks and our spiritual well-being. And that's exactly why we're having this retreat. We're trying to set apart an extended time and create a focused space to spend and be with God and our spiritual community. Because 1 hour on Sunday morning is simply not enough for our spiritual lives. And so that's exactly why we're having this half-day retreat as part of our Encounter series, to set apart this time. And so it will become like a spiritual shower, if you would. An extended time, all afternoon, with dinner included, with spiritual family, seeking God together, and really desiring to experience God in a deeper way. I don't know about you, but I've been so blessed by the first 6 weeks of our Encounter series, by all the talks, by our small group experiences of listening to each other deeply and praying for one another. The leaders of our small groups have been fasting and praying for each and every one of you, really hoping and believing that God will pour out his spiritual blessings over you. And so we're hoping that each and every one of you can make it to this half-day retreat. If for any reason you can't, please inform your small group leaders, as it will help us prepare things accordingly. Now at this retreat, my wife and I, Jenna and I, are going to share about 2 topics. It's going to be talks 7 and 8 of our Encounter series. It's going to be about inner healing and then spiritual warfare and deliverance. It's going to be very significant topics to learn about, because we're going to learn that, Jesus didn't just save us so we can go to heaven after we die, but he comes into our lives and desires to heal us through and through of all of our past spiritual and emotional wounds, and set us free from any bondage or oppression from the devil or from this world or from our past, so that we can live in increasing victory. And so we're hoping that Saturday will be like a spiritual hospital of receiving healing deeply in our hearts, and also a time to experience greater spiritual freedom and breakthrough in our lives. Again, dinner and childcare will be provided. We're going to start things at 1:30 with that first session, and then we're going to get into our groups and share our life stories and pray for one another. I'm going to tell you a little more about the life story in a second here. But then we're going to have an early dinner after that, and then close off with our second talk of the night with kind of an extended time of prayer. And we'll be done around 8:30 at the latest that Saturday night. Well, there's only one thing we ask you to do prior to the half-day retreat, and that is to prayerfully draw out your life graph or your life story. Okay, we're going to provide a life graph template via email, and you can download that and print it out and draw it out with a pen or a pencil for your own life. Okay, drawing out your own story here, and I'm going to draw out mine very briefly just to give you an idea of how this works. So the paper is going to look something like this, like a graph, and this is going to be kind of the time and years of your life. And this, if you see here, there's going to be a plus and minus. Okay, so you're going to go back and try to record during the time of that event or relationship or whatever that happened? Was it a positive, joyful, happy thing, or was it kind of a sad, painful, difficult kind of experience, right? And so as you look back, it could be about your family, any kind of events, transitions, people in your life, experiences, etc. All these things that impacted and shaped you in one way or another, right? And so when we put that together, it's going to be, your life story, basically. So this is birth right here, okay? That's 0. So you can start out with putting down the year of your birth, 19XX, all right? My birth, I want to say it was a very positive thing for me. By the way, it's important, to even start out from there, because I know a very close friend of mine that would put her birth down here somewhere because she learned that she was an unwanted child. And she kind of lived with that innate kind of experience, that negative experience growing up, actually, really that impacted. But anyways, you get the point, right? So you would start out with your birth. And I'm not going to be all specific, but you could be as detailed as you want, as many points as you want. And I think the more the better, right? Really spend time deeply looking back at your past and connecting some of those dots by the help of the Spirit, and do it prayerfully. And if one page is not enough, you can extend it to 2 or 3 pages as well. But I'm going to start there. I think I had a good childhood, but then kindergarten was really bad. Apparently I was singled out. I had to move kindergartens, long story short. And then our family later on in elementary, or maybe I can include my mom having a dream, moving me to a new elementary school, and I myself doing really well. And then our family moved to the mission field as a missionary family. That was a fun time for me. It was exciting, learning new culture. And then junior high was a very low point. I was bullied. Didn't really have true friendship. It was kind of a lonely, sucky time. High school was pretty fun, and then especially, my 11th grade year, I remember going to a retreat, and that's where I first really encountered Jesus or the Father's love for me. That was a very high point that shaped me. And then I came to Biola University, back to the U.S. Oh, it was so good to be back. Culture shock again, but it was a very positive thing. And then I got married. Then my dad passed away. That was like the lowest point of my life. I understood what grief meant for the first time in a real way. Then there was healing, restoration that happened. And then we planted the Well Church. We're up here, right? And that's like 2021, right over here, okay? Now, I skipped a lot because I just wanted to give you an idea. And now if you connect all of that, you see here it becomes like a graph, right? Whoops, I skipped this one, okay? Then you go down, and then that's the current right there, okay? Now, everyone's graph is going to look different, but I want you to draw yours out. And for each point, I want you to write out kind of the when did it happen, right? 19 something something, or the year. And then what happened? A quick description of what happened, right? And perhaps how you felt and how that impacted you. How did that shape you, right? What was going on in your heart when, the experience of it, right? And how that shaped you, the experience of it and how that shaped you. So write out a brief description per point like that. And so when we get together on Saturday at the half-day retreat, that afternoon, we're going to get into our small, intimate groups. Hopefully, we've been building a close spiritual relationship already through the first 6 weeks. And within that confidentiality and safety of our groups, we're going to be, sharing this and listening and ministering to one another. And so I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to this retreat together. God bless you guys.